So the next special interest group is going to be Laura Hensey Russell, who's going to be sharing about water and lake health. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks for having me. Just got off the CPC Community Preservation Commission meeting where we were presenting a proposal for a second round of funding for the Lake Committee's work. And I mean, looking back, so much has happened in the last year with your support, and I'm seeing Charlotte front and center there, who's been an angel in terms of the youth and high school involvement as well. And so I mean, I guess what we're moving from the initial round of all the sort of testing and diagnostics into a second round of that, plus also we've really identified that, you know, as we thought, Sucker Brook is a real problem for the E. coli coming in, and Community Center Beach is on a pilot basis is actually going to be closed to swimming next year, and both residents and non-residents can use the main beach for swimming. And that Board of Health will continue to test weekly, so we'll have the data on what's going on there, and it'll be restricted for, you know, kayaking, boating, sailing instruction, fishing, and that kind of thing. And swimmers, you know, really should be going to the main beach for health reasons. We have done, you know, the cyanobacteria monitoring. We were fortunate to not have a lot of flooding last summer. The lake level was a little low, but we didn't have the heavy rains bringing in all the nutrients, so we didn't have a significant algae bloom. There were some September and October, some of that seasonal, but it wasn't extreme. The weeds have really been growing, the invasive weeds in the south and west coves and in the lagoon. So we want to do some more significant treatment of that in the next year, as well as focusing on more nutrient reduction, really identifying the sourcing of the E. coli and how we can work to reduce that, both if there's spots, but also Board of Health is getting involved in terms of starting to look at having lawn companies in town register and share some basic data on what products they're using. And under state laws, you're supposed to be only using phosphorus in lawn fertilizer for a new lawn, or if there's a substantial repair of a lawn. And it's only supposed to be used if there's soil testing that shows that there's a deficiency. And so they want to just have a way to start collecting data on what is being done, and then perhaps get more perspective about it. We also have a volunteer who's looking at the town's data on septic conversions, so which ones have been upgraded as properties have turned over and which haven't, because I guess there's kind of a loophole in the way state law is regulated. So, you know, with the Title V, you know, you need to do these upgrades, but if there's no bank financing involved, there's not necessarily a way to catch it and enforce it. So that's something that the town is going to start looking at as well. And we have a volunteer that's looking at the data to see what septics have been done and not done over the years. That's a pretty long project. At the high school, the Restore Our Oceans Club, which overlaps with SSC Youth, is looking at ways to limit runoff from the high school and maybe do some kind of plantings, and we're, you know, helping putting them in touch with resources for that. And I think they've reached out, and some Girl Scouts are interested in some activities as well. So all of this getting out in the community is great. We have to start thinking about, you know, Green Day and what kind of things to emphasize there. And I just got an email from Xander regarding that, so that sounds good. Do people have questions or other thoughts? I mean, it just seems like we've had a great first start of doing this this last year. We want to really build on that, looking ahead. I see Kelly's here, who was collecting our data for or maybe she's, yeah, there she is, for the Ponset River. Do you want to add anything, Kelly?
No, I mean, I think it was really a learning experience for me. And it's disappointing to hear, the outcome of the E. coli. I'm someone who uses the lake a lot, particularly in that area. So, but just also working closely with Rory on some of the invasive species. So that was a great learning experience as well. So hope to continue to do that.
Great. And so thank you, Laura, and to the rest of the group for working so hard on this. I'm going